All right, guys, it is April the 3rd, and we are out on a short hike, my son and I, and we're looking for some sheds. We're out shed hunting, and we're also looking for some turkey sign. But today, we're gonna show you guys how to make a slingshot. Stay tuned. All right, so the first step in making a slingshot is you need to find a branch that has a Y like that, like this piece right here. Perfect Y. And I'll give you guys a tip. A really good tree that is strong and they have pretty symmetrical Ys are these buckthorn, and they are an invasive species, and so people try to get rid of them as much as they can. And so this would be a good tree to get your Y from. So I'll cut this one down and we'll get to shaping it.
Here you go.
All right, so all I'm doing is I'm just kind of cutting off the bark. I'm gonna trim off the tips, and then all I need is just a notch on each side here. And you can trim it up, you can shape it the way you want to later on, but I'm just gonna quick do it for you guys. Just gonna do a rough cut, and just to show you guys how quick and easy you can make a slingshot. All right, so I kind of shaped this Y into about what I want it to be. And you don't want it too thick, you don't want it too small, because otherwise, you know, it'll break on you. And if you have it too thick, then it's just, you know, too big for your hands. And so you want it strong enough, and you want it, you know, not so thick that it's way too big for you. But this feels good in my hands. I just got to shape up the tops here a little bit more, and then I'll show you guys how to put it together. But I mean, I'll go back and clean this up a lot more, but this is just about, I don't know, 5 minutes into just cleaning up the Y here. All right, so I'm gonna show you guys one that I made a few years ago, and it's a slimmer profile, but you can see the Y is here. The slimmer profile, I just cleaned up the bark, kind of shaped it the way I wanted it to be. And then I got these rubber bands, which I actually got these on Amazon. You tie the rubber band onto the Ys on two sides here. And then ideally what you want is a leather patch, or a little piece of leather for the ammo pouch. These flat rubber bands here are a lot more stronger and a lot more accurate. and then a leather ammo pouch makes it a lot easier and more comfortable, and the leather pouch is a lot stronger, so it's not going to break. But in a survival situation, you can just use household rubber band and just find some type of strong material to make the pouch, and you can even use duct tape. And so I'll show you guys how to put the slingshot that I just cut here, just carved out, together. All right, so all I got is just regular rubber bands from home. And so you do want to use these thicker rubber bands because you do want to have tension, and you want your projectile, your stone or your marbles or your steel ball, to travel at a fast enough velocity to be able to kill some animals. And let's see how stretchy these things are. So they've got a good tension to them. But what you want to do is you want to find these thicker ones here, and I try to find the ones that are even, and then you just kind of loop them together. So you kind of just put them together like that, and now they're stretchy. All right, so just take 2 and 2, and you just loop them together. So this is in a survival situation where all you have is just the rubber band that you have around your house. So now we got 2 together, and it's got a decent amount of tension. All right, so I got my 2 strands of rubber band here, and I'm gonna be holding it this way. So you just take your strand and you're just gonna wrap it around the top here, like that. And you want to stretch it so that it's tight up against the slingshot here. You're going to take another rubber band, and you're just gonna tighten it down. So that it doesn't fly off when you're pulling it back. So my dad taught me this way back when I was a little kid, because this is what he used back in Laos to shoot birds, squirrels. And my dad taught me this when I was a little kid, and I used this to shoot a whole bunch of birds, squirrels, back when I was growing up too. So now you've got it tight, and you do the same thing to the other side here. All right, so all I have now here is a piece of duct tape that I just cut, folded it into each other. And duct tape is pretty sturdy, but like I said, ideally you want to get a piece of leather, and you want to just get 2 holes on the sides here. And like I said, this is just duct tape. It's pretty tough, but you don't want this to slip, and you don't want this to break here. So like I said, in a survival situation, use whatever you can find. So in this case, I'm just going to be using duct tape. So all you do is you take this end here, push it through the hole, and you want it to come out on the outside of your pouch. And the same thing as up here, you use another rubber band to tighten it down. This is a little bit more tricky because you don't have anything to wrap that on, but you just pull this together. Get your rubber band to loop into each other. Tighten it down. Okay, now you've got your pouch attached to the rubber band. Now it's in one piece. And you do the same thing to the other side. You want to make sure that these rubber bands are equal, the same length, so that you have the same tension, so that one side is not pulling more than the other. So this feels about right. About like that. And I usually just wrap it around this extra piece that's sticking out here. There you go. Now you've got yourself a survival slingshot. Let's take a couple shots at some cardboard and see how accurate it is. First slingshot that I'm going to use is the one that I just made, and I've got some cardboard down there, and so we'll see how accurate this thing is. All right, so that's what I'm using. A little steel ball. You can use rocks, stone, marbles, whatever you can find in the woods or out in the wild. Now you got your little ammo. You just put it in a pouch, squeeze, and you hold it, and you use, if you're shooting this way, you use kind of this point here as your point of aim. All right, it's a little bit low, but you can see the velocity is there. A little high, but this is just a survival situation. Like I said, you can shoot this up to 30, 40 feet maybe. I'll show you guys the one that I made before. All right, so now we're gonna shoot this one, the one that I made a couple of years ago. You can see, I mean, it travels at a pretty high velocity. There you have it, survival slingshot. Easy to make in a survival situation, easy to make, and it could save you out in the woods. Thanks for watching, and we will see you guys on the next one.